Developing tonight, the bomb squad called to a cargo area near Miami International Airport after canines picked up on possible explosives.
And let's get right
A massive response by Miami-Dade police and bomb squad Saturday evening. Police say a call of possible grenades found in luggage came in. It happened at a cargo warehouse near Miami International Airport. Local 10 cameras captured bomb squad opening a box and cutting through a bag in a loading area of the warehouse. People who work in the warehouses didn't want to go on camera, but say a canine helped alert on the possible grenades. Hours later, police say eventually the all clear was given and no explosives were found.
Travelers poured out of Logan Airport Sunday.
Right out of nowhere, I see the whole crowd. People yelling and screaming like it was out of a movie, right?
State police evacuated Terminal A as they investigated a suspicious item found in a piece of luggage.
We had already gone through TSA, me and my children, and all of a sudden we were, getting our items from the bin, and they told us to drop everything and just run and evacuate. And it was a panic.
Troopers determined the suspicious item was an old or damaged PlayStation video game console, and that the condition of the console caused abnormalities in its X-ray image, prompting concern. They gave the all clear to return after 5 o'clock. Tara's family, headed to vacation in Florida, joined hundreds of other travelers back in line for security. Many delayed over an hour.
It was pretty terrifying. This is their first time on a plane, so yeah, it was really scary for them.
Lines wrapped around the terminal as more travelers arrived to the airport.
I mean, it's crazy. It's really packed. There's no true flow of traffic. Everyone's guessing. I'm just hoping I don't miss my flight.
And I was all the way at the end of it for a while, and then I realized it would be probably 2 hours after my flight left before I even got the chance to get in. So decided to just try and reschedule, which is going to be a mess, but I'll take it.
Happening at the airport, operations are back to normal following a bomb scare. The Jacksonville Aviation Authority says the FAA called the airport around midnight about a threat of a device on board. After landing, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office's bomb squad and canines checked out the 175 passengers and 6 crew members. That flight from Atlanta was held for about 3 hours.
The FBI and local authorities responded to reports of a bomb threat on an Alaskan Airlines flight, but after a search on that plane, it was deemed safe.
Authorities confirm a bomb threat was made for an Alaskan Airlines plane headed to San Diego from San Francisco on Monday. The FBI deeming it all clear. A viewer told Fox 5 the plane was surrounded by police when it landed on the runway around 5 o'clock. The Port of San Diego Harbor Police and the local FBI responded. FBI San Diego said, quote, the plane was safely isolated and evacuated. The aircraft was searched and it has been rendered safe. No explosives were found. Passengers reacted to the bomb scare on Twitter, saying authorities and flight crew handled things well. Alaska Airlines told Fox 5 the bomb threat was non-credible and non-specific, identifying the plane as Alaska Flight 3352 operated by SkyWest Airlines. Out of caution, passengers were shuttled to the terminal while the plane was searched. The FBI says they're all safe and accounted for, along with the flight crew.
The FBI is investigating a bomb threat at the airport. It happened this morning around 8 a.m. Officials tell us this is not impacting any flights. We will let you know.
The call of a bomb threat, the report of a bomb threat came in at 8:15 tonight. That's when SFPD showed up. They found what they thought was a suspicious package, possibly an incendiary device. Out of an abundance of caution, they evacuated that international terminal. As you know, a very large terminal. And that time of night, around 8:15, that's when people started arriving for those trans-Pacific flights to the Philippines and to Japan. So it was a very chaotic scene down there for quite some time. Now, the San Francisco Police Department EOD unit is investigating. They have detained an adult male for this incident at this time. But things here at the airport have not recovered. AirTrain and BART here at SFO are still down. The parking lots A and G around International Terminal, those are still closed off at this point, with nobody being allowed to get their cars in or out tonight. And there is bus shuttle service here around the airport to get passengers where they need to be, but all pickups and drop-offs that were planned at International Terminal have been rerouted to the domestic terminals around. SFPD still has a very large presence here. They are still searching the airport to make sure that there is nothing that could possibly go wrong here. but things will not recover here probably for quite some time.
Airport. It's cell phone video of a man detained by police. We have not been able, however, to confirm if this man is connected to the suspicious device. Meanwhile, traffic was a mess getting into SFO tonight. Evacuated passengers confused and trying to catch a ride to their locations.
The FBI is now involved in the bomb threat investigation at Pensacola International Airport. Someone called in the threat this morning and it shut the terminal down for about 45 minutes. Travelers on incoming and outbound flights were aware of the situation.
It really didn't bother me all that much. I just sat on the plane until they told us we could get off.
We were worried about us landing and coming into a airport with a bomb threat, of course, but we were kind of in the air and didn't really know what was going on. The unknown was more scary than anything.
Surveillance that captured this attack, which is just the latest in a string of violent encounters that have happened here at SFO so far this year. Witnesses tell KTVU that the stabbing happened here in the baggage claim area of Terminal 3 shortly before 5 a.m.
Officers arrived on scene and located an adult male victim who was suffering from stab wounds. Officers rendered aid and transported the victim to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
Police quickly found their suspect in the same area, 48-year-old Samuel Douglas Day. He's been booked into jail for attempted homicide. Police say neither the suspect nor victim were travelers. Witnesses say the victim worked at the airport. Witnesses also say the suspect appeared to be unstable and may have been homeless. Police are not confirming that detail, but stress this incident happened in a non-secure part of the airport.
Anyone can literally walk off the street and be in this area. Know that we have officers here 24/7 that are here for everyone's safety.
This stabbing is just the latest in a series of high-profile incidents at SFO. Just last week, a man was arrested after bringing parts of the airport to a standstill with a bomb threat and suspicious package. In June, police arrested a man after he reportedly attacked 3 people with a large knife or machete. And in January, officers shot and killed a man who had a pair of realistic-looking airsoft guns and pointed one at them.
For all these incidents, not only are they all investigated, but we look at any kinds of trends that might be occurring.
And the only thing we saw was like 4 ICE officers with machine guns walking in. Yeah, that's all we saw.
Are you sure ICE officers? It said it on their back?
It said ICE on their back. So.
When we landed, we were told to exit the airport. So that's all we know. But we have
in a scary scene on Friday at San Francisco International Airport, police are investigating a stabbing after 3 people were injured. The airport says this happened just before 6 p.m. Friday in the pre-security terminal. San Francisco police say the suspect used an edged weapon and assaulted 3 men. The suspect was detained without incident, and those 3 victims were treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Dallas police identified the woman they say fired several shots inside the Dallas Love Field terminal before officers shot and wounded her. No one else was injured.
The woman, 37-year-old Portia Odufua, is hospitalized in police custody, but her condition has not been released. She's seen here in a previous mugshot after a 2019 arrest for bank robbery. Police have not yet revealed a motive. Fox 4's Alex.
Shaky cell phone video captured part of the chaos inside Dallas Love Field Monday. Dallas police say just before 11 a.m., 37-year-old Portia Odufua was dropped off at the airport. Witnesses say Odufua, seen here in a mugshot from a 2019 bank robbery arrest in Wiley, walked into the airport, went to the bathroom, changed clothes, and then opened fire with a handgun near the Southwest Airlines ticket counter.
At this point, we don't know where exactly the individual was aiming. For the most that we're seeing now, she was aiming at the ceiling. And our officer engages the suspect, strikes her in the lower extremities. She's taken into custody and is currently at Parkland Hospital.
This cell phone video taken by another witness shows Odufua being treated by first responders moments after being shot. Ashley Wyckoff says she was standing just feet away from the shooter when it happened.
And a woman came and she's making an announcement, like saying like somebody failed her husband or something, and it's like, I'm about to blow this place up. And all of a sudden she brandished a gun, started pop in the air. All I can do is run. I'm thinking that I'm not running fast enough because I'm still hearing shots, and I'm like, I'm not getting out of here. I'm not getting out of here. I'm gonna die up in here.
And all we heard was a shot, and we smelled gun smoke. So we hurried up and ran through the door, and
just ran across me, almost got hit by several cars.
Dallas police and airport officials immediately ordered an evacuation. The airport went into a ground stop that would last for hours. Cell phone video taken by another traveler showed rattled passengers outside, huddled near a wall. For others, like Trinice Bailey, who were trapped inside, they were forced to shelter in place.
They all pushed us towards the back and told everybody to go into the luggage area, and everybody was scared. Some people were crying. It was a variety of children.
The shooter was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, no one else was hurt.
My life flashed before me. That's all I can think of. My children, my husband.
Tower, Chapter 5. Looks like we have a scene on the west side of the airfield. Looks like a shooting close by.
Gunshots at Dallas Love Field Airport late this morning sent passengers inside and out into hiding, stopping all flights for several hours.
It was crazy, man, because it was like chaotic.
All of a sudden, we heard people run out. 37-year-old Portia Odufuwa, who had been arrested for burglary in 2019, went into the bathroom near the Southwest ticket counter, put on a hoodie, and exited and began firing shots into the air.
At this point, we don't know where exactly the individual was aiming. For the most of what we're seeing now, she was aiming at the ceiling, but there was several rounds that are found.
A Dallas police officer on scene shot Odufuwa below the waist, injuring her and taking her into custody. No one else was hurt. A witness says Odufuwa was yelling about her husband having an affair before she started firing.
She was gonna blow the effing airport up, and then she just basically had a hood, and she pulled the gun from underneath her hood, fired the first shot up, and then it's kind of scattered after that. We were just basically getting out, trying to get safe.
Here's what we have confirmed so far. So this happened just after 7 p.m. tonight. This was a SkyWest flight 5365. It was operating as a United Express flight from LAX to Salt Lake City. Now, we're told that suspect tried to multiple times to open the cockpit door before, quote, exiting the plane. LAX police said in a statement that the male who exited the aircraft was treated for injuries and transported to the hospital. No one on board the aircraft was injured, and the aircraft was able to taxi back to the gate area. That was a quote from LAXPD. Now, this is just one of several security breaches recently at LAX. Just last night, you may remember if you were watching, a speeding pursuit suspect was arrested right here after plowing through a fence at the FedEx cargo facility. That happened on West Imperial Highway. That suspect then led police on a chase over 2 different runways. That was while planes were landing and taking off. His car appeared to have the letters SOS written on the hood. Then earlier this week, there was a 43-year-old Venice man who allegedly tried to break into the cockpit door on Delta Flight 386. That was from LAX to Nashville. He had to be subdued by other passengers, and that flight eventually got diverted to Albuquerque.
This was the scene as the driver in a silver Mazda led police on a high-speed chase across one of the highest trafficked areas in the country, the tarmac at Los Angeles International Airport.
Huge ripple effect here after a vehicle actually breached the airport facilities.
After breaking through a fence near the airport's FedEx cargo facility, the driver sped past a line of parked jumbo jets. Witnesses then say the car drove across 2 busy runways on the airport's south side, did a U-turn back across them before coming to a halt outside a private terminal. The large chain-link gate near the FedEx loading area was found completely destroyed. Police gave chase most of the time until the hatchback stopped outside Atlantic Aviation, a charter jet terminal.
This is a really crazy one.
More than a dozen police cars surrounded the vehicle, and the driver surrendered. When the car came to a rest, the letters, inexplicably for now, SOS, were clearly visible on the hood.
Police have not released the identity of the driver or what the motive may have been. Nobody was injured during this chase, but the question remains how a major breach like this could have happened in the first place.
County Sheriff's Department identified a San Diego man as the suspect arrested last night for breaching security at John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana. Investigators say 51-year-old Johnny Hecker got into a secure area for airport employees only. He's also accused of stealing an airport vehicle and driving it onto the airfield. During a search for Hecker, the terminal was put on lockdown, then was evacuated. Several flights were delayed for hours. Authorities say they later found Hecker hiding in the ceiling near a ticketing area. He was arrested for trespassing and vandalism. There's now an investigation to figure out how he breached those areas. areas of the airport.
The Orange County Sheriff's Department said that a man breached the tarmac this evening at the John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana. Deputies say that man stole an airport vehicle and drove it along the tarmac. At one point, airport workers lost sight of him, forcing them to lock down and evacuate a terminal. Some passengers were stuck on planes for hours.
While trying to evade airport security, deputies say that suspect apparently ended up inside the ceiling between two terminals. Sheriff deputies found him, set up a ladder, started negotiations. In the end, it took a bottle of water to coax him out.
The suspect ended up climbing down the ladder and peacefully surrendering. He was filthy, covered in grime and dust. Police swarmed and cuffed him just as he climbed down the ladder. And now deputies are trying to figure out how he breached the tarmac and climbed into the ceiling.
That suspect was promptly loaded into a patrol car about an hour ago. His identity still has not been revealed. All of that chaos is creating a huge nightmare for airline passengers tonight. They had to be evacuated at one point. Look at this line. People waiting to get back into the terminal.
Jeff and Susie, all it takes is one person breaching security to really cause chaos at the airport. That's what's happened tonight at John Wayne. Our understanding is that someone breached one of the terminals. This was not just a passenger, but someone got in one of the terminals, and then they got down to the tarmac. According to law enforcement, they stole either a tug or a truck. And very shortly down, we're kind of around the taxiway, and then abandoned the truck and fled on foot, and they were never able to find that person. So we've had a big law enforcement presence. Let's show you what it looked like just before nightfall. We had some police cars as well as the Duke helicopter out of Huntington Beach, the Orange County Sheriffs. They were out here scouring, hovering at about 300 feet, looking for the suspect. They cleared all the terminals. They're trying to clear the ramp right now and return things to normal. But I also want to show you some video of all of these planes lined up. And we can actually see that all these planes, they've been stuck here on this taxiway for a long time. They've not been able to go to the gate. Planes are being allowed to take off and land still, but these planes have been lined up for a long time. So very frustrating for passengers. We could show you some other people outside of the terminal that were lining up trying to figure out what they were going to do when the terminal was being evacuated. So they're trying to return things to normal, but that person has still not been apprehended. So very disturbing that someone was able to breach the terminal and cause this kind of chaos, especially on a Friday night. Just a nightmare for folks trying to get in and out of town.
Officials at Cleveland Hopkins are investigating a security breach. The airport says a man drove his car through a secured gate in a restricted area around 9 o'clock this morning. That's an area maintenance vehicles would have access. Airport security captured the driver and held him until police arrived. He could face charges. That incident did not affect travel at the airport.
Quick action helped TSA agents stop a man who breached a security checkpoint at Midway Airport today. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said a man ran down the exit lane just after 2 this afternoon, saying he left his phone on a plane. TSA agents put multiple security protocols in place and followed the man to gate A15, where police took him into custody.
Scary moments for passengers aboard a flight at Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport. A viewer sending us this video of passengers evacuating a plane on the tarmac after a bomb scare in Terminal 3. The flight was about to head to Chicago when everyone was forced to deplane. BSO's bomb squad and the FBI investigated but didn't find anything suspicious and gave the all clear. A female passenger was arrested accused of making the false bomb threat. She is 46-year-old Marina Verbitsky. She faced a judge in Broward County this afternoon, charged with making a false report about a bomb explosive. Her bond was set at $10,000 and she must undergo a mental health evaluation.